Hello, and welcome to the other side of the kitchen table. This is towels from the toilet bowl. Unfortunately, my beautiful daughter won't be saying much tonight, as she's got really bad toothache. She will be participating a little bit, but most of it's going to be me, which is just as well when you know the subject we're dealing with tonight.
I've taken pills, I'm waiting for them to kick in.
Thing is, we're asked to cover bereavement and grieving, and everybody grieves in their own way. Everybody's got their own way of dealing with it, and everybody deals with it in different ways. Our way is forget the date of death. I don't even know what day my mum died, or my brother. So we pick their birthday. Now, one of my brother's birthdays was the 26th of December, my mother's was the 21st of December, and my brother was 25th of August. And what we normally do is on their birthday, we light a candle for them. We then get the pictures out. We get the pictures out and remember them. The things they done, the little things they did, the way they were, and everything else. My mum used to go to my brother's grave on Boxing Day, which is 26th, and she used to go and take him flowers and tidy up his grave on his birthday. We usually light a candle and remember them, because that's just easiest for us, because, I mean, I don't really relish the thought of going down the graveyard in the freezing cold Boxing Day morning, so we normally just light a candle and remember them that way. Or you could do Easter, light a candle for them on Easter, remember them on Easter, remember the things they did then, light a candle for them on Christmas, remember them then. There are various ways of doing it. We usually light a candle on their birthday and turn that into a day of celebration rather than a day of grieving. And that's the day when we really remember them most. With my Aunt Peg, it's not a birthday, because I don't even know what a birthday was. But every Christmas Eve, she used to come round and she'd try and help. And she was such a hindrance, I used to give her a glass of wine and sit her there with a bit of bacon and a sausage. And she'd spend up to four hours making one sausage royale, and I'd be topping that glass up constantly.
I don't know what a sausage royale is.
A sausage royale is also known as a pig in blanket. It's where you've got a small chipolata and it's wrapped in bacon and then roasted.
We'll show you how to make them
We
Christmas.
will be showing you those Christmas. But my aunt was such a pain about it that we'd just give her a bit of bacon and a chipolata and we'd top up the glass frequently. By the end of it, she was completely lampshaded. But she'd helped because she'd made this one chipolata. And we usually light a candle for her on Christmas Eve when we're prepping, and we remember her that way. So don't turn it into a day of wailing and grieving if you can help it. I mean, obviously, yeah, you're going to miss them, but we turn it into a celebration of the life that was. And I think it's nicer that way, because let's face it, would your loved one really want you sitting there crying and moping and not spending time with the family?
And they can see you.
And I like to believe that they can see what you're doing, and they can see that you're sitting there moping and wailing and just really having a miserable time of it. And they wouldn't want that. You know, so we turn it into a celebration, you know, of who they were and the life that was, not the facts that they're gone, because I don't like to believe that they are gone.
I think they're still watching us.
I think they're still watching. I think they're still making sure that we're okay.
Mm.
And it's okay to have a picture by your bed and to talk to them. You know, I haven't got a picture of my mum that I have on our bed, but I often talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I do get a solution to the problem that I've got, along with a lot of the insults she used to give me and everything else. So I believe that she is still there and still talking to me and still calling me all the names under the sun and how did I get myself into this situation. But it does help. It does. I mean, we have lost most of our family, and we don't, although we miss them, and we do grieve for them. We turn their birthday into a day of celebration for what they were and what they did, and we'll often sit there and we'll talk about when my brother was in Asda's with us and her skirt fell off, and we'll light a candle and we'll remember that because he was laughing trying to get her skirt back on. When he used to take her and get crabs down at the beach.
Sounds wrong.
He used to go crabbing with bubby crabs at the beach.
We used to pick up baby crabs and let them walk around on our hands.
Yeah, and one was a bit of a bigger crab and it got him on the finger. But, you know,
We never heard him swear so much.
we remember the life that was, not moping and wailing because they're gone, but celebrating because we were privileged to know them. So if you look at it that way, it's not so bad. And also, I often talk to my mum. I sit there and go, Mum, I'm in trouble again. I've done this or I've done that. And
I can imagine what she says about that. Again.
yeah, when I'm asleep, I get the insults. Oh, you silly beep. You know, what have you done now? But I do usually get some kind of solution, even if it's only going and talking to a debt counsellor or unpicking knitting and going back on it.
When you've done this one, I'm going to have a mini rant
Or
about something.
anything like that. But that's how we deal with bereavement and grief. And I mean, if you haven't tried doing it that way, just give it a go. It might help. It helps us.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a celebration of their life on their birthday.
By the way, this video is in like 3 parts. We've got this part, my mini rant, and then we've got another part that we've also been asked to do. So this is a 3-part
But this
video.
is a celebration of the life that was. If the person who's passed liked flowers, you can do the candle with some flowers around it. If the person that passed liked chocolate, you can always put chocolates around the candle, and then you can sit there and eat and talk to the person who's gone. Turn it into a celebration, not.
And sometimes this is going to sound so mental, but if you're eating a chocolate or something, they can sometimes pick up on it and taste it.
It's not a day of grieving, it's a day of celebration. That's what we do. And I know if you've got a lot of children in the house, you're not going to be sitting there you're not going to want to make those miserable by sitting there crying and literally making everyone's life miserable because you're not feeling great about it and you're missing the person who's gone. Yeah, by all means, you will miss them.
But think of what you've got, who's there, the people that are still with you.
And the people that are still with you, the people that knew that person as well. So we turn it into a day. We turn it into a day of celebration.
It wasn't Tiggy, it was you.
No, it wasn't. It was Tiggy.
It was Tiggy.
We turn it into a day of celebration as opposed to a day of grieving and mourning.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you could try doing it that way. It might work for you. Light a candle. You know, have a chat with them. It all helps the grieving process, and that's what we do. I mean, I know everyone's got their own way of doing it, but that's our way of doing it. And let's face it, Christmas, I am far too busy to grieve. I am way too busy to grieve. So I'll just usually put a glass of wine on the side and imagine Aunt Peg's there with a sausage and a
Tiggy, no.
bit of bacon.
No, come on.
And I know some people actually lay a place at the table for them. Well, I don't do that because we've got way too much on this table Christmas. Tiggy, please.
Yeah.
We've got way too much on the table Christmas. So we have a candle light on the table and we remember them while we're eating dinner. So that's our way of celebrating the life that was rather than grieving for it.
Right. I have a rant. No. This is not to do with any of that. This is a completely different rant. Sorry, but I'm like in a lot of pain. We phoned up to try and get me a dentist appointment because, as you know, I'm going to Finland and I want to get my teeth sorted out before I go because I don't need this when I'm there. So we phoned up and they said, what's wrong? So we told them the problem because I've had this for a while now, haven't I? It comes and goes in waves and I'm having a really bad time at the moment. My vitamins like Smarties, but so basically we phoned up and they said, oh, well, we'll write you out a prescription for the chemist. Now that's all well and good, but they really need to see what's going on in my mouth because I think I've got nerve showing
Exposed.
Yeah, exposed nerves because it comes and goes and sometimes it's really, really bad. Sometimes it's no pain at all and other times it's bearable, but at the moment it's completely unbearable. I mean, I'm brushing my teeth like 20 times a day with Euphymal using Listerine, and that burns like a bitch. But, well, I'd say bitch. But, you know, it's actually really, really painful. So I'd be like laying down trying to go to sleep and then I have to run upstairs and brush my teeth and use Listerine just to stop it from hurting. It's ridiculous. But, Tiggy, can you go away? But they're not taking any appointments at the moment. They're not actually, because we haven't actually got a dentist at the
They're
moment.
not taking on new patients at all. And we have tried to get a dentist. We have tried several. And because Kaylee couldn't get a dentist before because she was working and it would have cost way too much.
Yeah.
We didn't have any dentists that we were registered with. Now she's not working on trying to get registered with a dentist. They're not taking on new patients because of the coronavirus. Now, of the existing patients,
they're taking appointments for like existing patients. They're just not taking on anybody new.
So, of the existing patients not got the coronavirus, and they know this, or what is it? And also another thing, and this really got me angry. If you are an existing patient of a certain dentist, you can go there, they will make an appointment for you, you go there. The door will be closed, you have to use a smartphone to ring them to get let in. I can't use a smartphone, I can't see. So, if you're in that situation, what do you do?
I think they give you another option.
So, you know, it's ridiculous. The coronavirus has changed the world, yes, but people are still going to get toothache. People are still going to get sick.
I know, they might get me an emergency appointment, which is fine. But they're going to pull that tooth and I'm going to have a massive gap.
I've lost a filling and that tooth is loose.
And by the time the coronavirus is over and I manage to get a doctor's appointment, that gum's going to have toughened up and I won't be able to get it sorted out.
They said to me, go to the chemist and get temporary filling kit. I can't see. I don't particularly want her poking around in my mouth, and I don't
particularly want to.
She doesn't particularly want to go poking around in my mouth. Not that there's that much wrong with my mouth, but neither of us want that.
No.
Because it's obvious there's going to be food in the cavity.
And I'm not a dentist.
That I'm going to have to get out with a toothpick or something. I'm not having her doing that. What if she stabs me?
Thanks. I'm not a dentist.
I'm not a dentist. So, I don't really want to do that.
But they, if I go to get an emergency appointment because it's hurting so bad, they're just going to pull it out and they won't do anything. So I'll be stuck with like a massive gap in my teeth.
Tiggy, Go on.
and they're not going to do anything. And by the time the coronavirus is over or whatever, or they're going to take appointments again, that gum's going to have toughened up and they won't be able to do
But
anything
the
with it.
fact is, we can't get an appointment because they won't take any new
No, but
patients.
if you call an emergency dentist out, they have to do something. They're just going to
So,
pull it.
what do we do? You know?
I don't think that they should be like exempt from taking on new patients. That's stupid.
And our doctor's even better. We get an over-the-phone consultation.
Yeah.
I have a problem with my vision. A big problem with my vision. It's getting worse. It's got worse since the corona outbreak.
That's not sugar.
It's got worse since the corona outbreak.
I've got toothache, but I still like the sugar.
Nobody seems to understand this. I rang up my doctor and I said, I'm having problems with my eyes, my vision's got worse. And they said, well, what do you want us to do about it?
Do you want some sugar in your tea?
No, that's fine.
It's just mine.
No, it's because you had something sweet.
I've been having many sweet things.
I said, they said, what do I want them to do about it?
Fix it.
Well, they can't fix it, but can't they make an appointment? Please, come on, doctors.
Doctors is still open.
Come on, GPs. Come on, dentists. We need you.
My teeth are in a terrible condition. I haven't been seen a dentist in about 20 years.
I saw a dentist.
Giving my age away a bit there, but
I went to a dentist in Shrewsbury a few years back, and I've got a crown. If that crown falls out, that's it.
It's been about 20 years since I went to see the dentist last.
That crown falls out, I'm a pirate. It's not.
And I've got a broken tooth. You've probably seen it on many videos there. I'm not going to open my mouth because I'm in so much pain, but it's there. Like, when I smile, you can see it.
It's not acceptable.
It's awful.
So.
And now, like, I've actually got the means to go to the dentist because I'm not working at the moment. I'm very quiet at the moment, and I'm not working at the moment, and I've got, like, obviously they do it for free on benefits. I'm on benefits at the moment, so I can actually get my work done. But because obviously they're not taking on new patients, I can't get the work that I need done. So by the time that they're probably taking on new patients, I'll probably have another job.
I understand there is coronavirus. I understand it's a global pandemic. I understand it's a big problem. But can't the dentist actually order a coronavirus kit for you so you can be checked for it so as they can take new patients?
Yeah.
This will probably be a much better system. I know it will cost a fortune. I understand all this.
But people
still get sick.
Yeah, and they still need to have their teeth sorted out, or, like, I'm in so much pain right now. And I just want them to fix it, and they won't see me to do it. They said, oh, we'll give you antibiotics. Well, that's not going to get rid of the pain. That's just going to, it's not even swollen, it just hurts a lot. Like, the gum was, it was on that side as well. The gum was over the tooth at one point, and I was biting the gum every time I chewed something, but that's gone back now, it's fine. But antibiotics are not going to stop the pain. I mean, it will stop an infection if there's an infection, but there's not. It's just an exposed nerve.
We just need to know, how the hell do we get a dentist? It's not. We're not saying this because we're just bitching, because coronavirus has affected everybody in one way or another, and it's affecting us in this way. I mean, we've got existing conditions. They said that they will treat existing conditions such as cancer or something like that. Cancer changes.
Hernia, though, have they?
Cancer changes every day. I've got a double hernia. It doesn't really change every day.
But they won't do anything because.
Well, I'm holding off getting anything seen about it or anything because of this pandemic.
I had, it was like a little checkup, wasn't it, at the Newham show. This was about 6 years ago. And they said I needed, because my tooth broke. And they said I'm going to need like a cap put on that one. I'm going to need about 4 teeth pulled out, which they're going to replace. They're going to polish my teeth. And I need some fillings. That's a lot of work that I need to be done. And now I have the means to get it done.
She's only working part-time, so there's no way she could have afforded it.
No, and the work that I need to get done, now I can get it done. I've got the means to do it because I'm not working anymore. and they're not seeing anybody. And I really need that work done because of that nerve.
The coronavirus has affected a lot of lives. It's killed an awful lot of people. It is a global pandemic. It is a big problem. We know this. We're not stupid. We've seen it on the news. We know it's worldwide.
Oh,
But we do need some kind of health care to bridge that gap while the coronavirus is still ongoing. And they've now said that it's probably going to go on another 2.5 years. Have we got to go through another 2.5 years of this? You know, what do?
I
We
can't be in this
we
game
dialed
so
we dialed 111 because we were in pain, and that was the diagnosis we got.
yeah.
So
What's the matter? So we told them what the matter was. Oh, well, what we can do is we can get you some antibiotics.
and they said that I had to go and buy a temporary filling.
So not even give you a prescription for it, but go and buy it yourself. Andy, no.
Because we also need our ears syringed, and they said, oh, there's self-syringing kits. I don't trust myself to syringe anybody's ears. And I don't really trust anyone syringing mine. You can bust your eardrum that way. You know, it's not acceptable. It's really not. And, I mean, there must be some kind of contingency plan they can make. But there isn't anything. I mean, yeah, we do try and deal with our own problems a lot of the time.
Yeah, but I can't deal with an exposed nerve.
Well, I'm not a dentist, so, you know, what are we supposed to do? And, yeah, I am ranting about this a bit, but then it is a subject that should have been addressed from the very beginning.
And she's seen me in a lot of pain and she doesn't like seeing me in pain.
I mean, when you're...
And I tell into the picture of how
when your daughter is sitting on the sofa crying because her tooth is hurting that much and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it, that hurts a lot. And, you know, I think that anybody's the same if it's their children that are in pain. I mean, I don't like being in extreme pain. She doesn't like being in extreme pain. She doesn't like seeing anyone else in extreme pain either. But something, I mean, I understand there are people with pre-existing conditions out there, such as breathing problems, heart problems, and various other problems. And you stop beating me up with your hair. And we do have, you know, I think that it should be addressed in some way.
I mean, it's only a matter of time until this affects my eating again.
It's not a funny situation.
Because the thing is, if that tooth, if the top tooth hits the bottom tooth, no, the bottom tooth hits the top tooth, it's the top tooth that's hurting, it's like a severe electric shock and it hurts so much.
It's not a funny situation, you know this. It's a very serious situation. But then so is general healthcare healthcare in general, it is. And if they're not seeing people in light of this coronavirus, then what's next? You know, what is the next step? It's not good, not acceptable at all.
No, it's so painful. Like, honestly, it feels like someone has got my tooth and they're twisting it and twisting it. Every time I like, not move my mouth, but if I'm chewing or something and the bottom tooth hits the top tooth, it's so painful. I can't even explain how painful it is. It's like an electric shock. But when I'm just like sitting there, it's like someone's twisted. It's like it now when I've just taken a Vigilin.
Right.
So
our next subject, which is why this video is so late going out, we spent a great deal of time talking to somebody who was desperate, crying, on the verge of hysteria. You know you are. And we were talking them through it. It was over a guy. Now, I'm not the right one to talk about this story really, but this is why I don't have relationships. I think that they cause more problems than they actually solve. This is just a personal opinion. If you're married and you're happy, fine. But I'm talking about unmarried 30-somethings.
I never got my wedding.
Now, we've all been dumped before.
Hmm.
Happens. We've all been dumped. We've all been there. But why does it always have to be such a dramatic thing? You know, there are problems that are insurmountable that can't be talked out or sorted out without all this bitterness. You know, I would have felt much better if, you know, my previous significant other had come to me and we'd actually talked about it first. I think there are a lot of problems that can
Well,
be
I thought
solved.
everything in the garden was rosy with my relationship, didn't I?
Yeah, well, that situation was a bit weird anyway. But the thing is, you know, why? Why do it this way? There are other ways. It didn't used to be like this. So why now? Why is everyone so vicious now? Why? Does it have to be vicious? I don't think it does. I mean, yeah, I can understand if you're in a relationship that's abusive and you're getting beaten up, then you've got to get out of that situation as soon as you can before something really serious happens. And I understand that talking is not going to sort that out. No way. But a lot of these boyfriend-girlfriend problems can be sorted out by just having a chat and finding out what the other person actually wants. You don't have to be vicious. You don't have to be nasty about it. So why? And don't go around thinking that you're not good enough just because some person said it. You are good enough. You're more than good enough. Just because someone said that you're not good enough because it doesn't suit what they're thinking at that particular time. No, you are good enough. In fact, you're too good to be in that situation. So, and why do other people have to get involved?
Yeah.
You know, if somebody says he's not good enough or she's not good enough, isn't that up to the individual who's in that relationship to decide and not somebody else?
Yeah.
It's not anybody else's business. If you're in that relationship, that's your business and nobody else's. And I believe that you can talk it out and you can sort out the problem, even if that sorting out is parting at the end of it. It can still be talked about and you can still come to some kind of amicable resolution, because I don't see the point. Hating somebody takes a lot of energy, and I'm too lazy to expend that energy. I don't hate anybody. Dislike intensely, yes, but I can't hate anybody because I'm just too lazy. You know, hating someone takes energy. I'm not going to use a load of energy on somebody I don't really give a fig about. You know, so this is why I don't. I've done the whole relationship bit, and I've got disillusioned with it, and now I just don't bother. Now I know that people are going to be, oh, I want a boyfriend, I want a boyfriend. Fine, if that's for you, that's fine. And there are I believe in fairies, I believe in unicorns, I believe there are some decent men out there. So it's just a case of finding.
But it's also that thing, isn't it? There's them men that charm.
There are men that charm, but then if you think you've got a man that is charming, make sure that that's not an act. And I know that's easier said than done. This is why I don't bother doing it anymore.
Yeah, but they can keep the act up for a while, can't they?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can keep the act up for a while, but you know, and I'm not saying that you want a Prince Charming who is going to agree with everything you say.
That'd be boring.
That'd be very boring. But you don't want somebody you want someone who's going to be there for you no matter what. You know, if you fall over and graze your knee, someone who's going to sympathise with that. If you have a bigger accident, they're going to be there and they'll wait for you and see that you're okay. And you can show affection by actions. It's very easy to say I love you, but it's a lot harder to keep that facade up by being there for somebody. So just bear that in mind.
It's very hard for me not to say anything right now. Yeah.
But what would you rather? Have somebody who proves it to you by looking after you and being there for you? I'm not saying looking after you like you're two.
All I'm going to say on the matter of this is I had a 5-year relationship that broke up, and now they're trying to forget that I was ever with them. That's 5 years.
That's stupid. You can't delete years of your life.
5 years. And they're treating it like it was nothing.
You can't delete 5 years of your life. In 5 years, things are going to change. Yeah, you may outgrow the partner. You may outgrow them.
There was none of that.
But if that's the case, then there's always this is what I've always said, there's give and take.
And please don't let your friends get involved in your relationship.
No, because that is one of the
That's
worst
the
things
worst
that
thing
you
that
can
you can
do.
do. I mean, you have your friends and you have your relationship. Keep them separate. Because as soon as your friends start getting involved...
And they might be mutual friends. They might be your friends and his friends, or his friends and her friends.
Yeah.
They can mingle, they can be friends, they can be friends to both of you. Nothing wrong with that. Just don't let them get involved in your relationship. When they start saying, oh, you should tell her this, you should tell him that, you should do this, you should do that. No. That's where you say no. You do that in your relationship, I'll do this in mine. And keep it the way you want it to be. Not
And
the
also,
way somebody else thinks it should
family
be.
getting involved, that's another thing.
Yeah, because if I tried to get involved in her relationship, she'd tell me where to go. And she'd be well within her rights to do that.
I mean, she was trying to help with the wedding, but...
Don't ever try and tell your kids who they should be with and who they shouldn't be with. Guide them, by all means.
But if you say that someone shouldn't be with someone, they're going to be with that someone just to...
I mean, you could say, look at their behaviour, do they make you feel good? Look at their behaviour, do they hit you? Look at their behaviour, do they do this?
Can you see yourself with that person?
Can you see yourself waking up in 20 years' time next to that person? And don't make them give you an answer on the spot. Let them think about it rationally for a while. Because they will give you an answer on the spot and they'll go, yes,
Scratch my back.
yes I can.
Over. Down. No, go that way. Yeah. And down. Thank you.
Don't say, oh, I'm an answer now.
No,
Can you see
sometimes
yourself
think
waking
about
up next to that person in 20 years' time? And if they will say yes. It's instinctive. You go argue with your parents and yes, I can actually.
I get you.
But let them think about it rationally. Just say, don't give me an answer. Just think about it. 20 years' time, they're going to be older. You'll be older too. But can you actually see you putting up with that for the next 20 years? Don't get involved. Don't say no, yes, no, you can't be with them, no, I don't like them. Because that's just going to make that child go to that person more.
But family and friends should stay out of a relationship.
But family and friends should actually keep their opinions to themselves. I mean, guide them. Yeah. Guide
Not just
you.
parents, though, it's like all family.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you can guide them, you can make suggestions. But don't ever, if you're just a friend, don't ever try and get involved in that relationship while it's ongoing. Be there to pick up the pieces when it ends. Or be there to pick up the pieces when something big happens. But don't get involved. Don't try and put yourself in the middle of their arguments. Don't try and be some kind of marriage guidance counsellor. because it's not going to work, and they're just going to end up turning on you in the end.
Yeah.
So,
Or you've got the other scenario of, yeah, they'll be your friend. They'll be your friend right up until they start a family of their own. So they've ruined your relationship. You've got nothing left. And they've started up this family. They've got like a wife and kids. And you've got nothing because you listen to them.
so
That's the other scenario. And that's what happens most of the time. They break up your relationship that you're happy in. And then they'll go off and get married. Dump you off. You're left alone and lonely. And they've got a family. Yeah?
and you're left sitting at home on your own watching TV, going through everything on Netflix, and that's it. It's not a good situation to be in. Yes, I know there are toxic relationships, and if there are toxic relationships, you have to take a step back if you're in that toxic relationship and examine it and see what's toxic about it and if you can get out of it.
But never get your friends involved. If you're a friend, don't get involved. It's just not worth it. And if you're in an abusive relationship, there's numbers to call. There's things you can do.
We actually did one with the domestic abuse helpline on it a few days ago.
There's also another thing that I was reading about. And if you put a black dot there, it means that you're being abused and you need help. And if someone sees that black dot there, they'll usually call the police or the abusive helpline themselves and get you the help that you need. But it's not a friend or anything, it's actually somebody that you don't actually know.
And don't suffer in silence. That's the worst thing you can do, because you're just bottling it all up. Don't suffer in silence. If you need someone to talk to, you can drop us a comment.
But have a look at the article. It's I can't remember what it's called, but it's something to do with black dot, and it's something to do with abuse.
Google black dot abuse,
yeah,
and it should come up. But you know, I can't say all my relationships are perfect because I've done this or I've done that. They're not. They never are.
No relationship is perfect. Let's be honest.
It may look it from the outside.
And people will be like, oh, okay, I want what they've got. Nothing's perfect. Everybody's got their flaws. Everybody has. I don't care who you are. Even Johnny Depp's got his flaws.
And I've got my flaws.
I've got my flaws. I'm trying to find what Johnny Depp's are, but he has flaws.
He's a perfectionist. That's his flaw.
Really bad those flaws. He's got a temper. See, everyone has their flaws.
Everyone has got a flaw, and we accept that. We know that. You know, we're old enough to know that everyone's got their own quirks and their own flaws. We don't believe that anyone is perfect. I know that when you're idealistic and you're young, you do believe that you're in the perfect relationship and you found the perfect love. There's no such thing. I mean, I'm not saying...
I mean, you may be happy with your partner. Great. That's excellent. Sweet, you know, happy for you, but is it actually perfect?
Of course not. Nobody has a perfect relationship.
My relationship was pretty damn good, but it wasn't.
The thing is, you may not argue much. It's great. But there's always something. You know, there's always something.
With me, it was tears.
No, it wasn't. There were annoying things.
No, I know, but what did I do most of the time?
Cried.
Exactly. There was a lot of tears.
I mean, you may faff around. You know, you're trying to go out, and you'll spend 4 hours primping and preening or looking for something. That would annoy me.
Or waiting.
Yeah, spending half your life waiting for somebody. That is annoying. There is always everybody has a flaw. Nobody is 100% perfect. I have flaws. She has flaws.
I have many flaws.
Don't expect your partner to be perfect, because they never are.
No. But, you know, you're going to have to spend time getting to know them flaws, because you're not going to go out with someone and you're going to know what their flaws are like that. It doesn't work like that. You have to give it some time.
And if you do break up, why be like bitter to each other? If you don't can't stand the sight of each other, don't talk to each other. Social media has made it easy for them to talk to you and to bug you. If you can't stand the sight of that person, don't talk to them. It's that simple. And if they follow you on social media, if they start trolling you, then I would either, one, shut down my account and only give an account only to people I know, and it would be like a secret account under a different name.
Secret account.
I'll tell the police and say, look, this person is stalking me now, trolling me, it has been going on for this amount of time, and let them deal with it. Because chances are the police may not do anything about it.
You've turned into Tilly.
But the fact that you've actually spoken out about it and
No, we don't want your bum.
reported that it's happening, they will probably take notice of if it happens again and again and again. So, you know, try not to be bitter. I mean, my ex, I don't want to even know that he exists. But rather than go around hating him or whatever and trolling him on social media, I just pretend he doesn't exist. That's the best way to do it.
And then there's that other thing, right? Everyone knows that breakups are supposed to be mutual. You both agree to break up. But when one person decides to break up with the other person for no reason, why? When that person has done nothing to deserve it.
And that means that that person has got their own personal reasons for doing it, but is too chicken to speak up and say why. Because there is always a reason somewhere. And with a relationship, you're supposed to be able to be perfectly honest and open. If they are not giving you a valid reason, if they are just giving you an excuse, then that means that that person is an absolute chicken and should be able to actually openly express what the problem was. You can't just say, oh, I just got bored with you. Because that's not good enough. Yeah, you outgrow each other, I understand that. But that's what you say, you sit there and go, we've outgrown each other because that was what I used to be, this is what I am now. And you can either choose to grow with them or separate. So,
sorry to give, but I'm in a lot of pain in my face.
It seems like a weird thing to say.
My tooth.
It does. And if somebody doesn't want to know you anymore, it doesn't mean that there's a flaw with you. It just means that they're not the right person, or it's not the right time. So, please, you are worth it.
I want to have to go and brush my teeth. I'm going to go and brush my teeth.
You are worth it.
I don't know what it is.
And, you know, it's just that that relationship wasn't for you. We've had many rants on this channel. This has been a ranty day. I'm hoping that we've addressed some of the things that have gone on in the comments. I'm hoping that we've made you feel a bit better. I hope that we've made your day a bit brighter. In Tales from the Toilet Bowl, we do try to cover everything, and if you leave us a comment, we will try to cover it. Please, please, please leave us a comment, like, subscribe and share. We need as many subscribers as possible. Just to know that there are people out there who want to listen to what we've got to say. Not because we're egotistical, but because we believe that this channel is needed, something like this. So please, you know, tell your friends, tell your friends' friends, tell your friends' friends about it. And I'm going to try and get my daughter some audio because of the amount of pain she's in. So I'm going to close this Tale from the Toilet Bowl here. We'll see you again soon. on time from the toilet roll. Be kind and considerate. We'll see you next time. Bye.